My 59-year-old mother transformed from this to this. She literally aged in reverse to the point where she looks better now at 59 than she did 10, 15, even 20 years ago. She moves better, looks better, feels better. She decreased her wrinkles, reset her fascia after some complicated physical issues, which we'll get into, and she's now become the best version of herself, and it's a pleasure to have her here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here, Oscar. I am Megan, Oscar's mother, and wow, what an introduction. So lovely to be here.
So we won't waste any time. Let's first break down your story, your physical story, drop some information along the way, provide some unique information about how people at any age can transform themselves, transform their appearance by tackling the actual root cause. So tell us a bit about your physical story.
Well, there's been a lot. When I was young, I had 5 exploratory surgeries. So I had a lot of scar tissue built up on that. Or would you call that fascia?
Yeah, I would.
You would? See, there you go. And I had a bike accident, and I had a surgery on that, removing that swelling. And I had a few other. I had 2 cesareans. I had 2 back surgeries, then 2 cesareans.
One with me.
One with Oscar. Well, actually, yours is interesting because when I had Oscar's, the second birth, I had to birth through. We were so sure we were going to have a home birth. But what we didn't know at the time was layers and layers of fascia that they had built up even more after I had his sister 5 years before. So they thought I was in labor the whole time, and then they had to take me in emergency. So I think actually, I wonder if that's true. If there's a lot of C-sections that are born out of that complication because we're going through layers and layers of fascia.
As a background, we'll be talking about the fascia a lot in a different perspective. Maybe some of you have seen my interview with my sister, and I'm doing more in-depth talks on it in general, but the fascia is generally a layer of connective tissue that runs throughout our entire body. It's like a spider web that covers every single system, wraps around every muscle, every tendon, wraps around the organs, and so it's ever present throughout our entire body. It weighs over 22 kg. It's involved within every single process, and that's why I think it's so important to talk about in these different perspectives, because it's essentially the layer that connects the physical and the mental. It's the layer in between, and it's the layer that's responsible for a lot of the undiscovered and hidden truths, I think, between the general health and wellness and beauty space. And so for anyone that doesn't know, as we kind of keep talking, that's what we'll explain, but sorry to cut you off.
Yeah, it's very interesting because I find there's a lot of emotion in that and all the work that we've been doing, so it's layered in that. And I've had to do a lot of autoimmune issues. Ever since I was a child, I was on antibiotics for 12 years. Did I ever tell you that?
Yeah, I did.
12 years, and then I had to take 2, we called it chocolate medicine, a liquid, and then eat a pill and a marshmallow because I couldn't swallow it. Those are the big ones. And then
And you had 7 teeth extracted.
I had 7 teeth extracted. Can you believe that?
For reference with it, very clearly and unequivocally, no Botox, no fillers, no plastic surgery, not one thing.
I'm allergic to a lot of things, so I do zero of anything. I've always used natural organic products for 30 years now.
In that, all of that, if you were to kind of pin it down to a couple, let's say 2 key things people should focus on, that people should know about, and then we can take the topic of discussion that way.
Well, firstly, I've been working with Oscar very intently for the past 2 years, or a year and a half. He took me on I've always been following his things, his techniques and his methodology since he began. But
technically, you created them.
Yeah, technically I did. Technically, the whole thing is mine.
Technically, it's everything.
Technically, the whole is mine.
By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Oscar Patel. I transform my own self from this to this, fixing my asthma, my sleep apnea, my scoliosis, my posture, shifting my jaw upwards and forwards, naturally expanding my palate, shifting my face, and rewiring my entire health and looks from the inside out naturally. And now we've helped thousands of other people do the same, including my mum, to the point where we even have the largest health-based paid community in the entire world, spreading one mission: health is looks.
The thing that changed me is absolutely the thumb pulling, but specifically I love pulling my tongue and pushing the tongue. They really have opened my airways and changed and just really structured my jaw and my breathing. Remember, I was snoring a little bit, like making those little funny sounds.
Beginning to get there.
That's totally gone. My breathing, my chewing, my swallowing. I was always grinding my teeth, and because of all the teeth work and the sawing down they've done, I've had to do a lot around that. The Zygotape is unbelievable game changer. I feel like it's like a weighted blanket on my face when we put it here on the zygomatic bone.
That's a good one. I've never had that.
Yeah, oh my God.
Have you said that before?
No, never.
That's genius.
Weighted blanket on your face, but then you put it on your zygomatic bone, you put it here, and then I put one here, and off to bed we go.
Yeah.
And
quickly, just to interject.
I didn't sleep with it last night for the first time in so long.
It doesn't show.
It doesn't show, but I did not sleep well.
Really?
No, I woke up
You
like
didn't
5
sleep with
times.
it last night? Rookie mistake.
Rookie mistake. I've never done
Always
that.
have it on the bedside table so you can never forget. Our perspective, and this isn't medical advice, but what I would say is that each tooth is connected to the trigeminal nerve. And so each tooth represents a signal to our bodies and to our system. It encourages, when our teeth touch, proprioception, which is how our body holds itself, controls itself, and understands where it is in regards to space and time. And each tooth that's extracted or shifted unnaturally means that the sensor from our face to our nervous system, because of this trigeminal nerve, becomes weaker. And as a result, you can imagine it's like Jenga. If you take out all of these little pieces, eventually the structure begins to become weaker and more fragile. And you can imagine that the fascia wraps around each layer of the body. And so if you're taking away the structure that the fascia wraps around, it doesn't have anything to wrap around, so it becomes dehydrated, tighter. It kind of crinkles like a piece of paper. And that's the way to visualize it. And so equally, when we're doing the tongue exercises, for example, like my mum's mentioning, we'll put a quick video on the screen. The tongue is connected to one of the different fascial lines. There are 12. The key one being the deep front line, which connects all the way from the feet through the pelvis and the rib cage up to the tongue and hyoid area. So you'll see that as people age and get older, generally the tongue falls lower. People get crowding in their teeth. Their lower teeth start to become a bit crowded. Their posture falls forward, and they begin developing a bit looser skin around this area. And so when we're stretching the tongue, we're releasing the fascia, stretching this line, providing hydration to the fascia, meaning that even though the structure is weaker because the teeth have been extracted, you're at least replenishing the hydration of the fascia around it, meaning that it can hold things in a slightly better direction nonetheless, and the muscles can still activate. And we're beginning to target the root cause of the entire kind of problem. It's like a little puzzle, and we just need to put the first piece in the right place. And that's what we're saying. And quickly with the Zygotape, I'll let you explain.
Well,
that.
the Zygotape, when you Oscar has developed it beautifully. It's you put it on the zygomatic bone. It's very mathematical and myofunctionally based, and so put your face in a sling from here to here. It's like no other. It's very different. It's this specifically. Put you in a sling, and then you put it across. What's this, metalis?
Metalis, exactly.
Yeah, metalis, and it acts. So that keeps it. So it trains your tongue to stay in the roof of your mouth, and it is unbelievable because we want the airways open, because then we oxygenate the body and release the oxidative stress, and that is the exchange we absolutely need at any age.
And why don't we provide a little nugget of value for everyone? Why don't you explain the different tapes you put on your face and why you do it? Rather than just the Zygotape across the cheeks and the chin, you also use Zygotape for different areas of your face. Why don't you give them one or two so that everyone can copy and follow along?
Cue the photo.
Cue the photo, yeah.
Cue the photo.
So you'll put them...
Yeah, so I take the metalis ones, the shorter ones, and I put them in a V.
Yep.
Like this, right on my 11th lines up here, and it really lifts. I love that. So that lifts, and it lifts your sinuses too. So it is literally a weighted blanket. You kind of look like one. And like twice a week,
Yeah, you look like a
because
mummy.
I talk a mummy. I am a mummy.
Yeah, exactly.
So at twice a week, I put a piece right across here, so I'm connected here and here and here. I talk a lot, and so that really takes away those little the little creases that come. I didn't have those before. I'm talking more.
Yeah.
And when I take them off, it doesn't come back for like 3 or at all. So it's so fascinating what we can do, because I don't know what I do at night, but before the Zygotape, now I sound like an infomercial. Before the Zygotape, I literally went to so many different places in my dreams and my moving around so much in my movement. I looked worse when I woke up than I did during the day. And so this is unbelievable game changer, and I cannot tell you how many people are like, what?
I know, you really swear by it.
I swear, and it's like the thing, I hide them, and I can't remember where I put them because we moved to different places, and then it's like that thing you always have with you.
And why don't I explain really quickly so that people understand the concept behind taping the face or applying face tape? The reason that we're taping the face isn't just to temporarily hold things in place. It's because we have a structure in the face, did you know this, Mama, called the SMAS, the superficial musculoaponeurotic system, which holds tension in different ways and passages, meaning that we're meant to have this upwards and outwards tension, shifting the face up, pushing it out and upwards. But over time, as the fascia becomes tighter and as the muscles become weaker from improper chewing and swallowing and an accumulation of bad habits from living in a toxic modern world, again, people, I think, and you can agree with this, people are only as old as they look, not as old as they actually are. So you're the accumulation of your habits And so over time, in the modern world, eventually, as the tongue drops, as the muscles become weaker, the face starts pulling down, and this shifts the tension downwards, resulting in weaker skin and the skin becoming less elastic. You want to be able to take the skin and it to fall right back into place. It becomes weaker and more fragile. And so what face taping is doing is it's not just holding the structure in place, it's working along this system that's arranged and providing passive pressure to the exact correct lines to then reshape the system, provide the stimulus where you shift the tension, and then that allows the tongue to rest on the roof of the mouth. The tongue then holds the entire face up. The tongue is the most important thing. If everyone had their tongue on the roof of the mouth, no one would need to get anything done ever, and everyone would always look absolutely beautiful and brilliant all the time. But it's really kind of an impossible task. It's like an eternal goal. It's like Sisyphus pushing the hill up the mountain, like you're constantly doing it forever because you can never fully get the tongue on the roof of the mouth. So it's an eternal struggle to get it, and the tape helps target the root cause of all of this. It's better than mouth tape because you're working with the body, not the system, and that's how we get it. And then what we're doing here is we have, again, different structures in the face. So when my mum's applying tape on the forehead, she's then lifting up that general frontalis area. When we put it on the mentalis, we then deactivate it, meaning that we don't have this downward pull from the DAO muscles. Again, complicated terms, but this is what we need to understand the face and the body. Any product you buy that replaces function rather than improves it is a fallacy. You can't wear something in your face that shifts it perfectly in the right direction. You can't wear a brace for your back to force perfect posture. That hacks the body. It doesn't work with it. You want little temporary things that apply passive pressure that work with the root cause. That's why you can use a ball to roll out the fascia in your body on the floor, because you're rolling out releasing the fascia, allowing your body to hold itself up better. You can steep with Zygotape to provide a passive force so that your tongue can rest against the roof of the mouth. You can use a gua sha to maybe shift the lymphatic system to get things moving so that your body can be shifted back into the right pattern. We're on the path of recorrection because we believe quite strongly, right, Mama, that everything's made perfectly.
I am the only friend or anyone that I know that hasn't had anything done to their faces, and it was with absolute no judgment. Because I had so many things medically in my body. I am allergic to a lot of things, so I was forced to never ever do it. So I feel so proud to be me. This is me at 59, and then I know I look differently than other people do with things done or boost things done, but it is a pleasure to be naturally me and naturally your mother at this age, you know. And I actually think too, having a daughter, that's really powerful, and it's so lovely that young girls at this age can start doing these exercises to change their small habits along the way, recognize them, change them, and then build, as you always say, their natural beauty line.
Yes.
So when you have your natural beauty line and you're on it, that's what we want. We don't want, I always say everyone, it's like a museum and you're in the museum and, you know, all the faces. And then they're all beautiful and interesting and totally unique. And then now if a master painter would come in, it would be like everybody looking robotic and the same and similar with clenched faces. So it's so lovely to have our own authentic beauty. Oscar's work has given me a lot of pride, and then you taking that responsibility on and holding space for your own body. When you do this work, you become very close with yourself in terms of how you're feeling, what that pain is, what that is, how to fix it, what to do, and you start to learn and you work with yourself. So it's a beautiful, beautiful unionship with your soul and your physical body.
The way we experience the world is through our body, not through our minds. We're, spirits in a human body experiencing the world, not the other way around. And so when we're stressed, when we're anxious, we store these things physically and we express ourselves. If we're happy, we smile. If we're sad, we cry. If we're stressed, we breathe shallow. If we're shy, we hunch over. Our bodies are the physical representations from which life comes, and that's the way that we experience the world. And that's the disparity that gets formed, and the connection between that is what my mum's talking about. The fascia has more sensory receptors than the muscle tissue, 6 times the amount, meaning it's interconnected with your nervous system. So when you're stressed and you clench your jaw, or all of these kind of habits, we're physically storing patterns within our bodies and within the structure that we hold ourselves in, and we get confined to these patterns. And that's why when we do this work on a deeper level, when we work with the body, not only do we release and open up the posture, release and open up the face, release tension, activate the muscles, we also release any of the previous patterns that's stored within. And that's not kind of woohoo waha, that's quite clear and obvious. If people just really think about it, you don't need to trust me or my mum, even though I hope you would. It's more just about intuition and realizing that all of this is recorrection. That's the key point, and that we're going to hammer home, which is everything is made perfectly. A baby crawls in a certain pattern, a tiger moves in a certain way, models walk in a certain way. We're meant to have wide palates, we're meant to have proper posture, and we're meant to be the best versions of ourselves. And that's the key thing anyway that we're pushing within the private community at the moment, where the key thing to understand is that no matter how much information you give or how well you think you understand this, the issue I think that I find is that it's very easy to talk and discuss about it. The only way to truly understand it is through application. If you don't do any of the exercises, if you don't move in the right way, if you don't realize your deficiencies, if you think about this and don't realize that you have something incorrect, because everyone does, no matter how perfect you are, you can always improve. And that's the key, because we're just getting back to ourselves, then it becomes, separate and a bit confusing. So the key, I think, is within the community, getting a proper routine, getting personalized information, working with the personal accountability coaches. My mum and sister, both one of them joining the live calls, speaking to us directly in these kind of live Q&A calls, getting the energy and being fully involved and using it for accountability. It only takes 10, 15 minutes a day. It's not a massive commitment. And when you do it, you buy back your time almost instantly, because you sleep better, you feel better, you have more energy, you look better. And so all of these things compound. It's an illogical decision not to take action upon it if you view it in that way.
And given to us to think and to consider, but the way we really come in and to full health is to release the fascia within, and that comes from understanding how to, and that's what Oscar offers us through all this ancient wisdom that he's bringing forth. Since the human body's been on the ground, we've danced, we've moved, we've shifted, we've moved the fascia out of us as it's getting tighter. Now when we're lying on our sofa and we're watching TV, that is lack of movement. We're getting stiffer and stiffer and tighter, and we're unaware of what these signals are telling us that are coming from our bodies. Everything that's stuck in us gives us pain, gives us, it even stops our decision making. So we need to clear all that to bring us into full unionship with our own mission, with our purpose, with our delights in life. So I think that's really, so that talk is on the community, and in the community, there's so much. Oscar jumps in and speaks, and you have him live, and there's lots of things going on. People in the community are amazing. I am forever
it's the best place in the world.
Shocked to see, I don't know where everyone comes from.
To everyone.
There's been and people are making friends in there. Everyone's of like mind. Whenever we're on a call, it is so respectful. Everyone is so rooting for everyone else and their transformations and their ways. It literally, it's just like a tribe of the same spirit and moving forward, and it's a beautiful place to be.
People really think that it can become overwhelming at a certain point. If you are told you need to go to the gym, you need to eat clean, you need to do Pilates, you need to do this, you need to do that, consume these products, try these routines, do this lymphatic drainage. But in reality, it is just one thing. One of the best things I can recommend to everyone watching, which every single person should and has to do, and the thing that we do with all the clients anyway, is stand, take a photo of your entire body, take a candid photo of your posture, take a clear photo of your palate, take a clear photo of your side profile, take a clear photo of your front profile, and actually look and understand your body, not with judgment, but with understanding what proper posture actually looks like. If you initially tell someone stand up straight, then you assume that's proper posture. That's not what proper posture looks like. We're meant to be back chain dominant. Our hips meant to be back, our head is meant to be forward, our tongue's meant to be on the roof of our mouth. Our palate isn't meant to be V-shaped, it's meant to be U-shaped, it's meant to be wide. We're meant to have certain posture, and the issue is that people become so confused by all of the amount of information put out there, which, again, none of it's wrong in their minds who are pushing this information, but it's wrong in the grand scheme of things because it's based off of symptomatic solutions. So if we look at the scoliosis in someone, which I had previously...
Well, I had when I was 16, did
exactly.
I tell you that? But I had a double S, so they didn't put the brace on me at that time. I had back surgeries after that, but you have to remember that I was on all that medication for all that time, so that weakens the whole system. When you're on prescriptions, when you're on doing all these things for a long, long time, all that fascia was being wrapped around, my body was weakening. All that stuff everything was weakening. My immune system didn't have a good run because it was suppressed. And then whenever you're wounded, the fascia comes around to be your best friend, to aid in your help. And so you're just tight everywhere.
And it's fascinating to view it from what you were just saying, which is how interconnected all of your issues are when you begin to view the body as one system. There are 4 ways that the fascia is hydrated: breath, movement, diet, and sun. And so if your diet was shifted and your gut health was changed, then your fascia itself becomes more dehydrated from that point. If you're put in these stressful scenarios where you're told you have these conditions and diagnoses, and you're told what you have rather than feeling within your own body what is, then again, you're put under stress, your breath shifts. That shifts your movement, and that will shift your posture. Maybe that's linked to your scoliosis. If these things shift, then the fascia becomes tighter all around, and that limits everything else of that nature. And overall, the body then begins compensating, where maybe the teeth start shifting, the tongue doesn't rest on the roof of the mouth. We shift our nervous system, and the nervous system naturally shifts into a more stressed and sympathetic state. And as a result, the entire body starts not collapsing, but trying to force itself into better positions without realizing what's happening as a result of these compensations. So your body doesn't know the best path, it just is, it just does. And so it will always take the path of least resistance, whatever it's teed up to do most easily and effectively. And these things naturally are crawling in the right way, having a bow when you run to load energy, having your tongue on the roof of the mouth when you're resting to provide a proper and passive signal. But these things are lost when it becomes easier for the body to do another pattern, to breathe through the mouth, to hunch over, to have crooked feet, to have duck feet. And that was another issue which then evolved, which, you developed duck feet, and then you also had bunions with your feet, and then you wear all those orthopedic soles to fix the plantar fasciitis and these things. Then your knees started caving in as you got older, and all of these issues later on.
It sounds terrible, doesn't it? But I was thinking back to what you were going to say and interrupt. I didn't really have terrible duck feet. I just had, it was just, I did have movement. No, not at all. Not terrible, but we got them back.
Yeah.
I'm going to give
but
that.
But the heel was flicking in.
Yes,
so if you look at this image on the screen, the heel should flick away. Heel was flicking in, and that's again a good thing to understand. If you guys don't understand,
but if I wouldn't have, I'm going to interrupt that, because if I wouldn't have caught that, that would have been, if I didn't have you to do that. Like Oscar would say, was walking behind me, was saying I had duck feet, and I said, no, you don't. I was so seriously so offended.
People are so adamant to
so offended. And then I was walking along, and then I was like, oh my God.
Waddling along.
Thank you, darling. But you're seeing all of it, everything is interconnected. And, I remember feeling, I was very ill after I had my wisdom teeth out for a couple of years after that. And I had a lot of anxiety. That's when my anxiety attacks occurred after that.
Panic attacks.
Don't even start with that. All of those, I always say to people, how do we wake up? And someone say, it's time to go have your wisdom teeth out, Megan.
Yeah.
Like, how can that even be a thing? Like, we ignore the word wisdom. Now we laugh and say, okay, take all the other teeth out, but leave the wisdom in me, please. So we are taking a lot of that stem cells out, and all of our teeth are linked to every organ in our body. That's a whole different conversation.
Yeah.
But it's real.
Yes. Let's explain practically, without giving away all of the information, a couple quick things that you did to improve your duck feet. Some of the exercises, remember, that I've had you do in the gym and things for your bunions and things like this.
Yeah, first of all, rolling on the ball is amazing to your feet, because it just spread. You don't understand how well we all probably do when you step on that, how much that you're locked and you're tight in your feet.
Yes. And as a rule of thumb, practical information here, say 20 times rolling back and forth in the middle of the foot, 20 times rolling side to side on the front of the foot, so the ball of the foot just below the toes, and then 20 times small back and forth on the heel, and then do that on each foot each time, and that's the best way to roll out the fascia in the feet. And again, the feet are the foundation of the body, and they link to every other structure. We can see the amount of fascial lines that start in the feet, the superficial back line, which connects to the scalp, and if this line gets tightened and stretched, circulation and blood flow gets decreased because the fascia becomes tighter and the system becomes less efficient. Blood flow to this area becomes weaker, and so you'll see very commonly people who have thinner hair or hair thinning, hair issues, maybe not balding or to an extreme, but these little issues, they'll be drastically linked to posture. And the issue is that there's no scientific study that will correlate these 2 points that's been made, because no one views the body in that pattern. So we will take tooth extractions and people will look at how well the teeth have done 10 years later, but no one will look at the impact it can have on the knees. If you take out an entire tooth, your head shifts forward, the cervical fascia tightens, the spine compensates, the pelvis shifts, this shifts the knees and this shifts the feet. And so we have a very clear and direct line from the teeth down to the knees. By the way, scientific study will be and is making quite a lot of progress at the moment, so stay tuned for that. So
I'm going to interject here, because all my friends who've had children and women, we've never talked about that. Because you're pregnant, and then I breastfed for so long, is my favorite pastime, that you just drain. And I had those emergency surgeries. So that's when a lot of teeth issues come up for women. Every woman I know, that's when they say you have to have a root canal. But that such a demineralization occurs because you're just giving all of your nutrients to the baby. Our body, all the goodness goes right to them. And the breastfeeding. So when we're in that weak point, plus if you have a cesarean surgery, all the fascial lines, even giving birth.
I mean, what is scar tissue? It is
scar tissue. And so we're taking that oxidative stress out. And so we're exchanging everything, opening the airways, changing so much and giving so much vitality and opening up. And so the nutrients is being absorbed back and release the fascia. So you have the absorption rate, and the exchange is, you can literally feel it. I was skipping today in the garden, wasn't I?
Yep, exactly.
And I tried to do
a good little exercise for the feet, a good basic exercise before people get more stuck in with the proper stuff. Light hopping, lymphatic hops on the balls of the feet. Get the lymphatic fluid running and moving throughout the body, release stagnant fluid, and get the systems pumping. The fascial and lymphatic systems are deeply interconnected, and that's why you'll see so many people with improper posture, storing excess fluid and retention within their face, being slightly puffy or bloated in the morning. These things are natural, they're dysregulation, and they're exceptionally easy to fix, to be quite honest. I think looks is exceptionally easy to fix. I think none of this, and a practical point to explain to everyone as well, this shouldn't take crazy amounts of time. You know, if you look at things in the grand scheme of things and how everything compounds, it's miraculous. So my mum now has chewing, swallowing, breathing, posture dialed in, these basic habits. She sleeps better, breathes better, no longer snores. You know, you sleep on your side now.
I might be nicer too.
Maybe.
I think so. I think I said that today in our podcast. In the call, and I said, you know, you're not your best version of yourself when you are so tight with the fascia so wrapped so tight. So as you loosen and you get it looser and you're moving better and you're breathing better and you're sleeping. You always say, Oscar, if you don't have your chewing, swallowing, eating, sleeping, breathing, walking, talking in proper form, then you're waking up in a degenerative state daily. So you just keep weakening every day. That's where it all goes wrong. And then everyone goes outward to get fixed, and then that never gets fixed, and then it makes everything so saggy. It's just a whole thing, and it never leaves our body.
The purpose of humans, I believe, is to help as many people as possible. We feel good by helping others, and that's how we feel self-satisfaction. That's generally how things work, I think. But obviously, we need to start within that. If the vessel from which life comes, the greatest creation of all time, the human body, and you're not working on that first, if you're trying to outwardly change and express things within your life without taking care of your body first, there's no time to wait, there's no perfect time to start, there's no time to delay. Understand this. We're meant to chew, swallow, breathe perfectly. We're meant to move in the correct ways. If anything's out of whack or anything's misaligned, then that's creating entire compensations throughout the body. Everything is interlinked. If you grind your teeth and you have crooked feet, they're interlinked. If you had a tooth extracted and you have knee pain, maybe they're interlinked. You need to start viewing the body as one interconnected system. You need to start tackling the root cause. You need to stop falling for symptomatic solutions. You need to go for things, crush it, work on your body first, prioritize yourself, and become the best version in every aspect. And that's the final closing message that I'd like to give.
I cannot express the changes that have occurred in people in the community, the changes that have occurred in me, physically, emotionally, spiritually, and fascially and freely. Is that a word? Freely.
Sure.
You have such freedom in knowing you are the anchor at which you anchor your knowing in. Join the community. Join us, men and women, families. Everyone's in there. We're learning. They're learning from each other. We're changing each other. You're making friends. You're learning. Oscar's ever evolving. It changes. It keeps going. It's a lifestyle, authority over yourself, and you are your own guide.
Well said. Actionable steps for everyone to do. Take a photo of your side profile, take a photo of your posture, take a photo of your palate, look at things, assess them, try and understand what's correct, try and understand what it means to be back chain dominant, what it means to have your tongue on the roof of the mouth, work and analyze your body and feel within it. Secondly, at least roll out, do something to release the fascia, roll out your feet as we provide the practical instructions a bit earlier, do some thumb pulling, release the palatal fascia, do something, do some form of release, and just play around with it, breathe while you do it. You can do it with your thumbs, you can do it with your own body, you don't need anything to do it. And then from there, fix your movement, begin working with the face, tackle the breathing, join the community, take action. We'll see you all soon. Love to see you inside on one of the calls. Thank you all so much for watching, for spending the time. Have an amazing day. And
Thank you. Join
health
us.
is
Looks.
good job. Love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.